Hi there. Welcome to Secret Places in the Open Air. I'm your host, Ivan Taprod. Tonight's show is about men and women. To get us started, I'd like to tell you about a remarkable woman from my own life. I've already told you about the lovely Carolina, the love of my life, who I married and who eventually I divorced. She taught me to be a practical man. She tamed me, made me give up my Hollywood dreams, made me settle down. I call her the love of my life because, in a way, it is true. But there was another woman before her, an unrequited love, the beautiful Alexandria, who I adored. I met Alexandria on the set of Fry Cooks, a pilot series that never aired. I was Curly, the flapjack flipper, one of the stars of the show. She was Tara the waitress. She never had many lines, but she looked great. The cameras loved her, and she was always sexy and fine. She latched onto me like I was happening, like I knew what was going on. In those days, I had connections. I had money in my pocket, and I knew the best parties in town. It was a useful arrangement. She made me look good, and I brought her to places where she could make connections that would further her ambitions. It's amazing how attractive you become to women at a party when you arrive with a beautiful woman at your side. I loved those days. Everywhere I went, I was surrounded by beautiful women, and I felt exhilarated and alive. She, of course, was surrounded by men, and that's what she was looking for. Powerful men who could move the world for her. I made the mistake of falling in love with her. Then I compounded my error by believing in my own power as an actor, by believing that I could win her over with emotional expression and words. "When you play with love," I said, repeating the line I had rehearsed so many times, "you play with the procreative powers of the universe. You are the possessor of the power of Eros, and yet your possession is only for a moment. The powers of the immortals do not belong to you. They are only alone for an instant in time." It was the greatest speech I had ever spoken as an actor. She looked at me kind of baffled. "You say that your what hurts?" I answered her question with another well-rehearsed line. "I am an actor. I can make people laugh, and I can make people cry. I, too, am for the moment possessed by the procreative powers of the universe. Eros, too, abides in me." I then proposed that we become true lovers, that we allow ourselves to be caught up in one another and join forces to conquer the world. She, as I'm sure you know by now, rejected me. I was too self-revealing, too sincere, too overwrought with emotions. Ironies of ironies, though the power to evoke passion was so much a part of her, she was nevertheless, by her nature, cold and calculating, an ambitious twister of people's emotions to her own ends. We parted ways amicably, as friends, then as acquaintances, then as people who referred to one another only now and then. as somebody we once knew. I gave up my pitiful acting career and settled down with Carolina to become a salesman. Yet somehow I cannot help but believe that if things had been different, if Alexandria had loved me, that the same deities that bequeath to men madness and grace would have lent to me, for a moment, the power of Eros, the power of Shiva the Creator, the power of Shiva the Destroyer, and I would have become a great actor, a star, all for the sake of her love. I would have become the person who I, with all my heart, have always wanted to be.